Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. In today's video, we're covering Mortal Kombat 1, and in this video specifically, I want to highlight some really powerful moves. Specifically 10 moves that I think are a cut above the rest. Now, obviously, with all the characters and all the cameos, there's all sorts of fantastic moves in the game, for sure, right? But these ones are a combination of very strong, some that you just might not know how these work. A bunch of these I don't think people either fully appreciate or even know flat out. So in this video, we're going to highlight 10 of the strongest attacks in the game, 10 of the most interesting attacks in the game. And let's start with number 1 here. Let's start with Ashrah. So in this game, everyone has reversals. Usually you do it when you wake up, has some kind of armor, and ideally it's your get off me move. And Ashrah, just like pretty much everyone else, has a reversal that takes meter. The thing is, hers is a massive step up from everyone else's in a very major way. So basically the entire cast has their move that's keyed, where if I do it and you try to attack me while I'm waking up, I will armor through that move and, well, I'll win. End of story. Except there's many ways for people to break that armor. Some characters, like say Mileena Forward 4, just double hitting very fast and easily crushes armor by itself. Or say if you're using a cameo to assist you on your attack with the assist to do multi-hits very fast. There are a lot of different ways to get in that second hit to break that armor. So Ashrah's is very, very different in a lot of key ways. So that Mileena multi-hitting setup for one. So Ashrah, in a way, is like a soft teleport. So Mileena is getting that first hit in and we're armoring through it, but we're hitting her on the other side before we can even complete the move, right? It's weird in the way that it can cause hitbox issues with certain attacks, and that's far from all. So we can hold this move for a bit, right? So what happens if we hold it and let Mileena get both hits in? Notice that? It's tanking through both the hits. It's not getting its armor broken. What's going on here? So Ashrah's reversal has multiple hits of armor. It's one of the very few moves in the game that does. There is some others, Havik notably, but Havik's is nowhere near as fast as this. So exactly how many hits of armor does it has? Well, our pal Reiko here, he's really good at throwing those ninja stars. Those ninja stars are 3 hits, and when you know it, she can tank through all of them. So Ashrah actually has 3 hits of armor. Now, if you can hit her 4 times somehow before her attack goes off, then I guess you'll break the armor. Like Reiko's EX Ninja Star is like the only real applicable way I can think of that, honestly, is that would hit 5 times. So already, this means Ashrah can basically get through everything. It's effectively the best defensive reversal in the game, because it can tank so many hits, you're not going to break it. And this also means certain scenarios that everyone loves, like the old Jack's unblockable setups, right? The overhead and the unblockable hitting on effectively the same frame. And she can just tank through all of it. Like, she'll take some damage, sure, with the armor, but better than getting hit. And then all of a sudden, that's a punish, right? The old unstoppable setup, maybe not so unstoppable if you wake up into it. So in a game with really wacky offense, such an incredible, quick armored reversal that has 3 hits of armor, multiple options, because you can let it rock, you have the pass-through option, or you can just do it and then cancel it and then go for a throw or go for strikes or attacks or whatever. Ashrah's reversal is amazing. Not much more to be said. Now, another exceptional move to talk about is Scorpion's back 3. So if you're unaware, it's basically a full screen low. Considering the absolute range it has, and it's a double hitting low, it's a very respectable. Now, the one thing about this is, even though it's a trip, right, it looks like the enemy falls to the ground right away, the enemy, for a split second while being hit, is actually airborne. Which means all of a sudden Goro can juggle them. Normally, on a ground floor, Goro would just, tap the enemy like that, right? But if you do this and call Goro at the same time, it's juggle time. And if it's juggle time, Scorpion loves those juggles. And now all of a sudden, our full screen low became a combo. And do not fret, you can actually play around with multiple ambush assists with this move. So a lot of utility to say the least, right? On its own, it's already a very dominant normal, especially because against Scorpion, a lot of people are going to want a neutral duck in fear of random spears or random teleports, right? And if you're neutral ducking, well, your toes are getting tapped from full screen for 11%, which is a lot, and with the right cameo usage, a lot more damage than that. So Scorpion back 3, pretty cool move. Now, General Shao, you are probably aware when he drops his axe, he gains different moves, because he no longer has the axe, so he has all sorts of different punches and kicks. And some of these moves are kind of exceptional. Like back 1 is a 12 frame mid launcher. That's pretty wild. Back 2 is a 15 frame also mid launcher, which happens to be plus on block, by the way. And this section is actually not about this move, which is already crazy enough that it's a 15 frame mid launcher plus on block move. But we're here to talk about forward 2 when the axe is gone. So forward 2 is 16 frames overhead, which means as a move to defend against, this is unseeable. You cannot react to a 16 frame overhead. And you may notice it bounces the enemy. So yes, you can absolutely get combos after the fact. And the most insane thing about this very fast overhead that gives us full combos is it's completely safe on block at -6. So this is a move that feels like it escaped out of Mortal Kombat X and doesn't belong in the modern era. A very fast overhead launcher that's completely safe on block, that's something from the old days. That's the forgotten tech. So the idea of General Shao is when he has the axe, he has the range. He's got all sorts of options that are very decent out of range. When he drops the axe, he has no effective range. Basically, he has to be in your face, but his tools for being in your face are fantastic. Not to mention with the overhead, obviously, is accompanied by a low, and that low can also go low overhead. And specifically while he's in the stance, this low is special cancelable into his knee, which is a launcher when he's not holding the axe. It's pick your poison. Which way do you want to go out? Because General Shao's gonna take you out, either with the low, which is nasty enough as it is, or he can snipe you with the deadly overhead that's just completely safe on block. So the options of getting mixed are very deadly against General Shao when he drops that axe. Now, Rain. You've probably seen the forward 3 overhead. It's a string starter, bounces the enemy. You dare get hit by the double overhead, you are getting destroyed. It's been making waves, to say the least. But the one thing you can level at it is, indeed it's slow, and it should be slow. It's an incredibly powerful move. Overhead launchers, there's something else. As we discussed in the General Shao section, right? Shao has to give up the axe, do some setup. Rain can do this whenever he wants. But since it's slower, you can feasibly crouch block, see the startup, and like, oh, I'll stand block now, right? You react to it, and fair enough. But there is something built into the move many people do not know about that makes that very difficult. So the enemy Rain's going to go for the move. Oh, I can see the startup. I will block in time. Sure enough. But now... Wait, what? What happened there? I'm pretty sure I saw the startup of the move. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, I can react to the startup of the move. Wait, what's happening? So the unique property of forward 3, the overhead, is it's what we call Kara cancelable. And that you can use the startup of the move and you can cancel it into a throw, which is deadly to say the least. When someone's worried about just the usual, you know, do I have to block high, do I have to block low, and especially against Rain, you really have to worry about blocking high. And nominally, when you see the move, you stand to block. And this is what makes a fool out of you. So if you're worrying about standing the block, and then you get hit by the Kara cancel throw, if you're holding block, you can't tech throws. So this comes a very strong layer of the mix-up. So if you are that kind of person that can react and stand block this every time you see it, this is purposely designed to punish you for reacting fast enough. Because now when you're stand blocking, that means you're definitely getting thrown instead. All you have to do is do the move, wait 1 split second, then hit throw, and you will cancel the first startup frames of the 4-3 overhead into your throw. So in a way, this makes Rain almost like grappler light, in that now the throw is a big part of the offense because they're so scared to block the 4-3 overhead. That means while they're worrying about blocking, you're throwing them instead. That's really, really cool and really, really good. It's a very strong trick for Rain's arsenal. Now in this section, we're actually going to be covering a cameo move, and that is Sonya's ring toss. So by itself, it's certainly serviceable projectile, right? Gives a decent fireball to someone who doesn't have it. But the fact that you can hold it, I feel, is criminally slept on. So when you hold it, it becomes a mid. That means no crouch ducking under this fireball. It does 9%, which is a lot. It also bounces the enemy. And yes, you better believe that means it gives it juggle potential for your combos. And it's ridiculously, insanely advantage on block. And by the way, if you full charge it, take the whole bar. And the bar recharges actually very fast, all things considered how strong this move is. Now, the one thing you could level at this, which is the issue, is, well, it takes a while to set up, right? You have the assist call by itself, then you have to have the enemy stay still long enough for this to matter. Well, the thing is, there's actually a lot of ways to easily set this up. Any move with an exceptionally long knockdown, like say the flame spin here from Scorpion, gives you plenty of time. This move here, 38 frames of advantage. The call by itself is 28 frames. So you can call, start moving around while this move is charging before they even get up. So say I end a combo with this. Let's call Sonya. Oh, random Scorpion teleport. Oh, wait a second. Random Scorpion teleport just got a hell of a lot more deadly. So, good damage off a random teleport, I'd say, right? And then, well, what if that gets blocked? What if it gets blocked? You're now plus 100 on block. Well, sir, I believe I'll duck that teleport. Will you? Remember, that projectile's a mid. So if you think you're smart in ducking this bad boy, still combo time. Now, far be it just to be like a Scorpion teleport gimmick thing, right? Any character with a half-decent knockdown that lasts a while, and then you can run in front of her while you're holding the charge and do whatever you want to do. If you want to do mix-up, sure. Like, it's just easy pressure, easy mix. If you go for the mix-up, it'll help enhance your mix-up by adding a lot more damage to it. It'll keep you safe as well. Because say the enemy hits you, right, while you're charging forward, Sonya will just knock them out of whatever hit they're doing. I can almost make a whole video on just like various character setups and pressure that you can do off this. I think it's one of the most slept on cameo moves in the game, and I think it's incredibly powerful. Next move I would like to talk about is Baraka and his EX Projectile. So by itself, it does more damage than the regular version, right? And it has a little bit of a damage over time effect. But the real cool thing about this move is while that damage over time effect is live, when the enemy blocks, they take way more chip damage. So let's look at Baraka, the stand for mash, right? You know, it does an alright amount of chip, sure. But now look at this. Look at the health melt away while it's live. It's absolutely insane, the debuff. You take so much more chip damage. And Baraka, given his moveset, is built for chip. So whatever way you can dream up to apply it in the corner, apply it, and then if they block, it's almost better for you if they block. Because look at the damage you're about to see. So yeah, that's a really good chunk of damage on block, right? You don't feel very smart if you blocked all that and took all that chip. So Baraka, he has a lot of very obvious strengths, but I find the EX Projectile and the fact that it gives so much extra bonus chip damage, it's one of the properties of the move, makes it one of the more fantastical moves in the game. Next up, let's go back to General Shao again for a second here. Let's talk his grab. Now, I know you've seen the grab a million times, puts you on the axe, dunks you down, right? But what I want to impress upon you is, actually, it is a real grab. It's a command grab, actually. So if the enemy is blocking, it will throw you. It's a proper throw. So it gives them a very strong offensive option in the corner, not the least of which is it does 14%, which is a lot more than the usual normal grab, on top of being untechable. And as a special move, you can enhance it. So if you're willing to spend that extra meter, it will do now 17%, which is pretty respectable. As we mentioned in the earlier section, General Shao, he's got a lot of sources of advantage frames. He has a lot of plus frames while he's in no axe stance. So it behooves the enemy to block while he's going wild with his bare fist. And if you block, well then, get thrown. Also, command grabs are already a very rare concept in this game, and tick throws are almost non-existent. Thankfully, down jab into grab is actually a tick throw. So this is exactly the scenario you want for a tick throw, and General Shao actually can do it. So if you block the jab, you're guaranteed to get grabbed, pretty much. Shao is effectively meant to blender you with all sorts of lows, overheads, plus strings, all sorts of stuff. You are meant to be scared and block. So it is actually a good part of his offense while in the corner that he does have a proper command grab. Most people think it's just combo filler, but no, it is a proper grab. Now, Tanya next up, I want to talk about her EX Fireball. So her Air Fireball is already one of the best moves I see nobody talking about. It is the traditional, very annoying angle to deal with Fireball. At all the distances you want to use it at, it is barely negative on block. It is a mid, so you can't duck it, and you can just be really annoying with it overall. And no, just in case you have that thought, up block does not work against it because it's a mid, not an overhead, so you don't get any advantage from up blocking it. Now, an Air Fireball is great and annoying in all the ways it should be, and normally in the rules of this game, if you spend a meter on a Fireball, usually it does a few more points of damage and maybe gives you a good knockdown, that kind of stuff. The enhanced Fireball for the Air Fireball is actually ridiculous. Why? It causes a crumple state. So depending on the combo you do, you can get like 25% plus damage in. And that's really strong for a random EX Air Fireball. So a move that's incredibly annoying and incredibly strong, which once again, I don't really see anyone talking about, which is nuts because this move is super strong and ridiculous. And then you add to the fact that if you do the enhanced version, you just get a full combo. So yeah, I think that's one of the better moves in the game, to say the least. Now, this video has been pretty full of some pretty crazy moves so far, and now we're going to go to Havik's back 2-2, which I know seems very boring in comparison, but trust me, we're going somewhere with this. So back 2-2 is one of his best hit confirm starters, so if you're just like looking for combos, this is definitely one of the ways to do it. And it has two can follow-ups. You can go back 2-2, 4, which is a low, and it's a safe on block low, or back 2-2, throw, which is a hit grab, and throws the enemy for some extra damage. So if the enemy blocks a low, they block the low, sure, right? And once again, it's safe on block for what it is. You're negative, but it's safe on block. But if you anticipate them blocking, the grab is a true throw and it ticks into itself in the string. So if they're holding block, they have to worry about getting grabbed, which is actually pretty crazy. Now the thing about the grab is if they're crouching and let go of block, you will get around the grab, right? And naturally enough, it is a high. But then if you let go of block, you're probably going to get tapped by that low, right? So in itself, it creates a little bit of a guessing game. If you keep going for the low, they're going to keep blocking once they recognize it. But then if they keep blocking, then they'll get thrown. So it's pretty powerful in and of itself. Also to note, the low plays very well with certain assists. So you're going to get a lot more damage than just the actual low in. Now to note, this string does have a weakness in that there is a gap between the first two hits and the throw or the low. So if someone does something armored, well, they'll blow through it. But then again, that's part of the guessing game of fighting games. If they attempt so, you can still block. Everything you do is safe. And then you block that, and then you get a full punish. And considering there isn't too many strike throw mix-ups in the game, that's exactly what this is. You block back 2-2, and for the most part, you guess, am I going for the low and maybe with an assist to back it up for more juicy damage? Or do you just hold block and accept it and get thrown, and throw by itself does about 11%. So very, very handy string, of course, and not the least of which is if it actually just connects and you can get a full combo going on, right? So that's also good. But yeah, strike throw mix just baked into the string. Every time you block back 2-2, you really gotta start thinking. And finally, I would just like to talk about the Brotaro Fatal Blow. So Brotaro can replace your Fatal Blow animation. So you can do your regular thing, or you can hit the cameo button and have Brotaro take your place. And the thing about that is Brotaro is way faster than basically every other character of their startup, right? Now some characters it's not really an issue, but other characters like say the Garruses of the world, General Shao and all that, they just have really slow fatal blows. So let's take a basic Garrus combo example, right? Diamond doesn't combo, juggle, launch, gotcha, haha, gonna go for my fatal blow. Whoops, whiffed. Way too slow, right? That sucks. I'm sure I could like fatal blow right at the start, right? When the time stopped. But that's boring. That means I'm not getting all my damage. But our pal Brotaro says, no man, you can do as long of a combo you want, and because my startup's so much faster than yours, we're always going to get that fatal blow. And my friends, that's why he's Brotaro. Because no matter what silly combo you got, no matter how slow your fatal blow is, you can almost rest assured he's always going to have your back, and you're going to be able to maximize your damage output, which is, you know, what we all want to do. We don't want to settle for less. And Motaro means you don't have to settle for less, which is why I find him fantastic as a pick. And he's got a lot of other good things like low shot. If you're unaware, low shot is more than just a low projectile. It's actually very advantage on block, even point blank. And obviously, I'm sure you're aware by now, but all the teleport shenanigans for Garrett specifically, you can give him like EX moves for free. Of course, never worry about zoning again. And the turret, he's got all the fun stuff, right? But the fact that he allows characters that normally have severe difficulty to combo into their fatal blow and just removes that issue gives you a much bigger comeback mechanic than your character would normally allow for. So the fatal blow starter for Motaro specifically, I think is one of the more amazing moves in the game. And that's just a list of some moves I find particularly fantastic and amazing in Mortal Kombat 1. Obviously, there's a lot, and there's probably a lot more I didn't talk about. So if you have any move you think is a standout either from a character or from a cameo, please post in the comments below and educate everyone to why you think the move is so good. Other than that though, we're now at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Mortal Kombat.